Hi, my name is Amira Shawi Badawi, and I am a professional coach from the International Coaching Federation. A few weeks ago, about 2 months ago, I posted a video talking about my journey with burnout, occupational burnout, and how it led me into becoming a coach. And I mean, I've got several questions afterwards from after posting the video, and there were two questions in particular that were repeated more than once. So this video, I'm going to answer the first question, which is basically, how do I know if I'm suffering from burnout? There is a self-reporting assessment that you can do. It's called the Maslach Burnout Inventory. You can just Google it and download a copy. It consists of 23 questions that you answer yes or no, and it will tell you whether you're burnt out or not. The thing is, I don't even use that assessment with my clients because basically, if we just check in with ourselves, we can tell if something's going on. We can tell if we're not well. So if you want to know if you're burnt out or not, just take a moment to check in with yourself. Ask yourself, what is going on with my body? What is going on with my heart? What is going on with my mind? You see, the problem happens when we lose touch with ourselves. We're unable to kind of connect with ourselves and to take a moment to pause what we're doing, to pause our thinking, to pause all the emotional turmoil, to be grounded and do like a body scan and figure out what is going on. Burnout is a psychological condition that happens when we are exposed to chronic stress over a prolonged period of time. Now, the underlying emotion to burnout is fear. And the body basically feels fear when it picks up on any threats in the surrounding environment. And it initiates the fear emotion within us so that we can take an appropriate action. So what happens when our body is sending us this indicator, which is fear, but we're not responding to it? We're not seeing it. The body's going to take over, because when I say the body here, I really mean our minds, our brains, starts to take over, because our emotions originate from our brain. And the actions also that happen afterwards originate from our brains. So the brain picks up on these threats in the environment, whether they're physical threats or psychological threats, real threats or perceived threats. The brain cannot tell the difference. If it's a threat, it'll send us this indicator, which is fear. We will feel fear. And the mind just wants us to respond to this indicator. And the way we respond to it is to name it. I'm feeling fear. If we do that, we can calm our minds down. But this is chronic stress, and it's over a prolonged period of time. So just being in this constant state of stress, it can dull our senses. So we might not pick up on these indicators. So what happens afterwards is that the body takes over, and it starts to prepare us for a fight or flight response. Because when we're in fear, we're either going to fight for our lives or we're going to run away from that threat. And by preparing us, I mean that the brain starts to prep the body by secreting some hormones so that we can take a physical action of fighting or running away. But we're caught in this loop of, I call it the loop of hell, of this constant state of stress that leads to heightened fear, to this constant fight or flight mode. But we're not actually fleeing or fighting. And this is why we feel, when we're burnt out, we say we feel physical exhaustion. It's because our body is prepped to do this physical action, but we're not taking any physical actions. And this is what happens when we get into this burnout loop. But also, we might start to have some behaviors that are actually relating to this fight or flight mode that we're in. So when we find ourselves overly combative, kind of picking fights with everybody, that's a form of fight. Or we get easily agitated. And you'll find yourself, you're kind of mentally preparing for fights all the time. A form of a flight would be engaging in addictive behaviors like emotional eating, or spending prolonged time on social media, or shopping. We're doing these things because we want to run away from whatever is causing us threat. And again, we can be doing these behaviors on a subconscious level. We're really not aware why we're doing it. It's just our natural response to what we're feeling in our bodies. So the bottom line is, just take a moment to check in with yourself and ask yourself, what is going on? You can tell that you're not doing well. Is this burnout? Is it not burnout? Let's just not get into that. If you're not doing well, reach out to a mental health professional. They can help you better define what is going on with you. And they can also help you work on your well-being goals. So you can go to a therapist. If you don't feel like going to a therapist, you can reach out to a coach. And of course, when I talk about coaches or coaching, I am referring to ICF coaches. I cannot speak for other kinds of coaches. But an ICF coach is trained to know if you might need therapy. We do not diagnose, but we're trained to refer you to therapy if you're needed, if it's needed, if you need to see a therapist. And according to the Code of Ethics, we really have to explain to you, why do we think you need therapy? And we will stay with you until you find a therapist and you start working with that therapist, and you're comfortable enough. So that's the basic thing. Just check in with yourself. Take a moment every day to just pause whatever you're doing, ground yourself in whatever activity that you use to ground yourself, and just go ask yourself, what is going on? What's going on with my body, with my heart, meaning my emotions, and with my mind, meaning my thoughts? And are the things that are going on, is this normal or not? If it's not normal, then you're not well, and then seek help to get back to your well state. And that's basically it. So I hope the video was beneficial. I will be posting other videos addressing the other questions. If you're interested to know more, we do have a program at Will+Way where we help clients understand their well-being markers, the elements that constitutes their well-being. We also have a tool that we developed in-house that you can use. We call it the Wheel of Wellbeing. This tool helps you to gauge your well-being. Where are you at on your well-being scale? And it also, throughout the program, we help you to put together a robust action plan to maintain your well-being and also sustain it afterwards. So if you're interested to know more, you can reach out to us. You will find our contact information in the caption accompanying this video. So reach out to us and we will share with you the details of this program. Okay, so thank you. I hope it was beneficial, and I'm looking forward to future videos, inshallah.